Before you say another word at your next family dinner, neighborhood barbecue, or even a casual round of golf with the guys, I need you to pause and watch this. Because here's the uncomfortable truth nobody really prepares you for. The moment people find out you've retired, something shifts. Subtly at first, then all at once. The conversations change. The questions get a little more personal, a little more curious, sometimes even a little calculated. People start wondering how you did it, how much you have, whether you're set or just pretending to be. And without realizing it, they begin doing quiet math in their heads, estimating your lifestyle, your assets, your limits. Now here's where it gets risky. If you're not careful, if you casually overshare even one of the things we're about to cover, you could unintentionally expose yourself. Not just financially, but socially and emotionally too. Expectations change, boundaries get tested, relationships can shift in ways you didn't see coming. And suddenly, the freedom you worked decades for starts feeling complicated. So today, we're talking about the things you should absolutely, under no circumstances, ever disclose in retirement. I'm Matt, and let's get into it. Number 1. Your exact net worth or account balances. This one seems obvious, but you'd be amazed how many retirees blow this within the first 6 months of leaving work. Never tell people exactly how much money you have. Not your neighbors, not your adult kids, not your brother-in-law Gary, who has a great opportunity every single time you see him. Nobody. Now look, I'm not saying be a miser. I'm not saying walk around acting like you're broke when you're not. I'm saying there's a massive difference between living well and broadcasting your balance sheet. Here's why this matters. The second someone in your life knows you've got, say, $1.2 million sitting in a brokerage account, the entire dynamic changes. Suddenly, your kid needs help with a down payment. Suddenly, Gary's opportunity involves crypto. Suddenly, your college roommate who you haven't heard from in 11 years slides into your DMs. And here's the sneaky version of this that people don't think about. It's not just about protecting yourself from bad actors. It's about protecting relationships. Money changes people. Or more accurately, knowing about money changes people. Resentment builds. Expectations shift. Family dynamics get weird real fast. I've talked to retirees who casually mentioned their portfolio value at Thanksgiving and spent the next 3 years fielding loan requests and passive-aggressive comments from relatives who think they deserve a cut. Keep the number vague. "We're comfortable" is a complete sentence. Use it. Number 2, where your money is held. This one is where most people go, "Ooh, I never thought about that." Don't tell people where your money is held. Which brokerage, which bank, which credit union. Don't share it. Now, why does this matter if you're not sharing the amount? Great question. Because knowing the institution, especially in the age of social engineering and phone scams, gives bad actors a massive head start. Think about how many phishing scams work. Someone calls pretending to be from Fidelity or Vanguard or your bank. The fact that they know which institution you use, that alone makes the scam 10 times more convincing. And yes, these scams specifically target retirees. It's not a coincidence. Scammers know that retirees often have more liquid assets, are sometimes more trusting, and are less likely to have a tech-savvy colleague to bounce suspicious calls off of. I know this sounds like I'm fear-mongering, but the FTC literally puts out reports on this every year, and elder financial fraud is in the billions of dollars annually. Billions with a B. So when your neighbor asks, "Oh, are you with Schwab?" And even if it's totally innocent, the right answer is, "I've got some accounts here and there." Smile, change the subject, offer them a hot dog. You're retired. You've got time to be charming. Number 3, and this one's a little more nuanced. Be careful about disclosing your Social Security strategy, especially if you claimed early. Here's the deal. Social Security decisions are deeply personal. They depend on your health, your spouse's health, your other income sources, your tax situation, 100 different variables. There is no universally right answer, but try explaining that at a dinner table. The moment you say, yeah, we took Social Security at 62, half the room is going to look at you like you just told them you keep your retirement savings in a mattress, because everyone's got an uncle who read one article and now is a Social Security expert. On the flip side, and this is the one people miss, if you waited until 70 and you're collecting a larger benefit, that information can make you a target. People start doing math. They know your monthly check. They have a rough sense of your annual income. That's data you just gave away for free. Here's my rule. Social Security is like your salary at work. You wouldn't walk around telling coworkers your exact paycheck. Same principle applies in retirement. 4. Your estate plan and inheritance details. Oh boy, this one causes more family drama than anything else on this list. Never disclose the details of your estate plan or who's getting what. I know. Some of you are thinking, but Maddie, shouldn't I be transparent with my kids? And look, there's a version of that conversation that makes sense, but there's a huge difference between having a calm, intentional conversation with your children about your wishes and casually mentioning at Christmas that you're leaving the lake house to your daughter and splitting the investment accounts equally. Because now you've created a countdown clock in everyone's head. Now your son knows exactly what he's getting or what he thinks he's getting, and if that number ever changes, you've got conflict. If you decide to donate to charity, you've got conflict. If you get remarried, you've got major conflict. And here's the darker version of this. Once people know what's in the will, some people start playing the long game. They get nicer, suspiciously nicer. They call more, they visit more. And you can never really tell if it's genuine or if they're just managing the inheritance. I'm not saying your family is like that. I'm saying money does weird things to people. Protect yourself, protect your relationships, and protect your estate plan by keeping the details private until it's actually relevant. Work with your estate attorney, review the documents, make sure everything is set up properly, but keep the summary off the family group chat. 5. Your daily routine and when your home is empty. Okay, this one shifts gears a little, but it's genuinely important. Don't broadcast your daily schedule publicly. This one's become a bigger deal in the social media age. Retirees, and I love this, I think it's great, retirees are very active on Facebook, posting about the cruise, posting about visiting the grandkids for 2 weeks, posting about the snowbird migration down to Florida every November. And look, I want you to enjoy retirement. Post the beach photos, but be thoughtful about what you're telegraphing. We're in Cabo for 2 weeks is also an announcement that your house is empty for 2 weeks. Burglars are not dumb. They literally scroll social media. This is documented. Now in retirement, you might have more valuables at home than ever before. Collectibles, jewelry, a home safe you're proud of, extra cash. All of that becomes a target when you've publicly announced your whereabouts. Simple fix. Post the vacation photos after you get back. Or lock down your privacy settings so you actually know who's seeing your posts. This is not paranoia. This is just sensible operational security, and it costs you nothing. 6. Your health details, beyond close family. This one's a little sensitive, so bear with me. Be careful about how widely you share your health situation in retirement. Now, obviously, your immediate family and close friends should know if you're dealing with a serious health issue. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this. Broadcasting health struggles in retirement can, in some social circles, trigger a very subtle but real shift in how people treat you. Suddenly, you're being managed. Decisions start being made around you instead of with you. Well-meaning family members start talking about what happens if, and not always in ways that respect your autonomy. And here's the financial angle. If word gets around that your health is declining, certain people in your life may start accelerating timelines, pushing for estate decisions to be made sooner, pushing for power of attorney conversations, pushing to help with your finances. Again, not everyone. Most people in your life are good people. But some aren't, and you can't always tell the difference when money is involved. Protect your dignity, protect your independence, and share health details with the people who need to know and have earned the right to know. 7. Your investment moves in real time. Fellow finance nerds, this one's for you. Stop telling people about your investment moves as they happen. Oh, you sold your bond allocation and went heavier into dividend stocks? Cool. Keep that between you and your financial advisor. Here's why. First, and this is the boring but true reason, if something goes sideways, you've now got an audience. You've got people who remember you said you were doing a thing, and now that thing didn't work out, and they have opinions, even if they shouldn't have opinions, even if they know nothing about investing. Second, if something goes really well, now everyone wants the hot tip. Now you're getting calls asking if they should do the same thing. Now you're inadvertently giving financial advice you're not qualified to give. Someone does what you did, they lose money, and suddenly there's tension. And third, it can create pressure on your own decisions. If you've told people you're doing X, it becomes harder to pivot to Y, even if Y is the smarter move, because you feel like you look inconsistent. Never let your ego get tied up in your investment commentary. Just don't narrate your portfolio in public. Let the results speak for themselves, in private, with your net worth statement, which you are also not sharing. See how this all connects? 8. The fact that you're bored or lonely in retirement. Okay, I saved this one for near the end because it's the one that hits different. Don't openly disclose if you're bored, lost, or lonely in retirement, at least not without intention. Here's the thing about retirement that nobody puts in the brochure. It can be disorienting. You go from having structure, purpose, a title, colleagues, a calendar full of meetings you complained about but secretly gave your day meaning, and then one Monday morning you wake up and nothing's scheduled. A lot of retirees go through a version of this. It's completely normal. But here's where the never disclose angle comes in. If you start telling everyone you're bored or don't have enough to do, you become a target. Not maliciously, but people will try to fill that void for you. Family starts assigning you tasks. You're suddenly the default childcare, the errand runner, the since you have time person for every favor that nobody else wants to do. Or worse, someone offers you a great opportunity to consult or join a business or invest in a startup, and because you're looking for purpose, you say yes to things you shouldn't. Retirement boredom is real, and the solution is building a life with intentional purpose. Hobbies, volunteering, travel, part-time work you actually want to do. But that's a whole other video. The point here is don't advertise the void, because other people will fill it in ways that don't serve you. 9. That you've come into a lump sum. Last one, and this might be the most important one on the list. If you come into a lump sum, pension payout, inheritance, home sale, do not tell people. I mean it. Don't tell anyone outside of your spouse and your financial advisor. The moment word gets out that you've just received a large cash infusion, you will be inundated. Guaranteed. It doesn't matter how quiet you try to be. Money has a way of getting out. And once it does, you become a soft target from everything from well-meaning but terrible financial advice to outright scams to family members who suddenly have urgent financial needs. There's actually a documented phenomenon where lottery winners and inheritance recipients who disclose their winnings end up less financially secure within 5 years than people who kept quiet. Why? Because the requests don't stop, and because it's hard to say no to people you love, especially when they know you technically can say yes. Give yourself at least 6 to 12 months before making any major financial decisions after a lump sum. Park the money somewhere safe, get professional advice, and in the meantime, tell absolutely nobody. Look, retirement is meant to be your reward, the long-awaited payoff after years of showing up, working hard, and doing what needed to be done. It's your time to finally enjoy the life you built. But that freedom can quickly start to feel fragile if you're not careful about what you share and who you share it with. Because the reality is, not everyone processes your financial situation the same way. What feels like a harmless comment to you can spark expectations, assumptions, or even quiet resentment from others. And once that door is open, it's very hard to close. So keep the mission clear. Protect what you've built. Guard your financial position, maintain healthy boundaries in your relationships, and most importantly, preserve your peace of mind. That sense of calm and control is one of the most valuable assets you have. I'd love to hear from you. I want to know, have you ever had an awkward situation because you overshared something financial? Drop a comment below and let's learn from each other. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.